Well, it's not a tailored jumpsuit, but it will have to do. Maybe if we could find some other color than this terrible brown.
That's all we've got.
Are you sure?
Positive. I have 2 shirts, both brown. You're wearing one, and I'm wearing the other.
Maybe I would look better in the lighter brown. Oh, well, we can argue that out later.
I was curious as to Aahz's attention to his appearance. I mean, he couldn't be planning on meeting anyone. The sight of a green, scaly demon would upset most of the locals no matter what he was wearing. For the time being, however, I deemed it wisest to keep quiet and humor him in his efforts. Actually, the clothes fit him fairly well. The shirt was a bit short in the sleeves due to the length of his arms, but not too because I was taller than him, which made up for most of the difference. We had to cut off some of the trouser legs to cover for his shorter legs, but they, like the body of the shirt, were not too tight. I had made the clothes myself originally, and they tended to be a bit baggy, or at least they were on me. Tailoring is not my forte. He was also wearing Garkin's boots, which fitted him surprisingly well. I had raised minor protest at this, until he pointed out Garkin had no further use for them, but we did. Pragmatism, he called it. Situational ethics. He said it would come in handy if I was serious about becoming a magician.
Hey, kid. Don't you have anything here in the way of weapons?
Weapons?
Yeah, you know, the things that killed old Garkin there. Swords, knives, bows, stuff like that.
I know what they are. I just wasn't expecting you to be interested in them, that's all.
Why not?
Well, I thought you said you were a magician.
We aren't going to go through that again, are we, kid? Besides, what's that got to do with weapons?
It's just that I've never known a magician who used weapons other than his powers.
Really? How many magicians have you known?
1.
Terrific. Look, kid, if old Garkin didn't want to use weapons, that's his problem. Me, I want some. If you'll notice, Garkin is dead. Besides, do you really want to take on Istvan and his pack with nothing but your magic and my agility going for us?
I'll help you look. We went to work rummaging for weapons, but aside from the crossbow that had killed Garkin, we didn't find much. One of the chests yielded a sword with a jewel-encrusted handle, and we discovered 2 knives, one white-handled and one black-handled, on Garkin's workbench. Aside from those, there was nothing even remotely resembling a fighting utensil in the hut. Aahz was not overjoyed.
I don't believe this. A sword with a cruddy blade, bad balance, and phony jewels in the handle and 2 knives that haven't been sharpened since they were made. Anybody who keeps weapons like this should be skewered.
He was.
True enough. Well, if that's all we've got, that's what we'll have to use.
Don't I get one?
Can you use it?
Well, I had a small knife I used to skin small game tucked in my own belt inside my shirt. Even to my inexperienced eye, it was of better quality than the 2 Aahz had just appropriated. I decided not to bring it to his attention.
Okay, kid. Where did the old man keep his money?
I showed him. One of the stones in the fireplace was loose and there was a small leather pouch hidden behind it.
Check me on this, kid. Copper and silver aren't worth much in this dimension, right?
Well, silver's sorta valuable, but it's not worth as much as gold.
Then what's with this chicken feed? Where's the real money?
We never really had much.
Come off it. I haven't met a magician yet who didn't have a bundle socked away. Just because he never spent any of it doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Now think. Haven't you ever seen anything around that was gold or had gems?
Well, there are a few items, but they're protected by curses.
Kid, think for a minute. If you were a doddering old wreck who couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag, how would you protect your treasures?
I don't know.
Terrific. I'll explain while we gather it up.
In short order we had a modest heap of loot on the table, most of it items I had long held in awe. There was a gold statue of a man with the head of a lion, the 3 pearls of Crowell, a gold pendant in the shape of the sun with 3 of its rays missing, and a ring with a large jewel we took from Garkin's hand.
Now this is an example of what I mean. I suppose there's a story about what happened to the missing 3 rays.
Well, there was a lost tribe that worshipped a huge snake toad.
Skip it. It's an old dodge. What you do is take your gold to a craftsman and have him fashion it into something with a lot of small outjuttings like fingers or arms or holding up the pendant, rays of sun. It gives you the best of 2 worlds. First, you have something mystical and supernatural, add a ghost story and no one will dare to touch it. Second, it has the advantage that if you need a little ready cash, you just break off a ray or an arm and sell it for the value of the gold. Instead of losing value, the price of the remaining item increases because of its mystical history, the strange circumstances under which it was torn asunder, purely fictional, of course.
Strangely enough, I was not surprised. I was beginning to wonder if anything Garkin had told me was true. Then none of these things have any real magical powers or curses.
Now, I didn't say that. Occasionally, you stumble across a real item, but they're usually few and far between.
But how can you tell the real thing from a fake?
I take it that Garkin didn't teach you to see auras. Well, that figures. Probably was afraid you'd take his treasure and run. Okay, kid. Time for your first lesson. Have you ever daydreamed? You know, just stared at something and let your mind wander. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Scoot down in your chair until your head is almost level with the table. That's right. Comfortable? Fine. Now I want you to look across the table at the wall. Don't focus on it, just stare at it and let your mind wander.
I did as he said. It was hard not focusing on a specific point, so I set my mind to wandering. What to think about? Well, what was I thinking about when the candle almost lit? Oh yes. I am Skeeve. I am powerful and my power is growing daily. I smiled to myself. With the demon's aid, I would soon become a knowledgeable sorcerer. And that would just be the start. After that... Hey!
What did you see?
It was, well, nothing, I guess.
Don't give me a hard time, kid. What did you see?
Well, for a second there I thought I saw sort of a red glow around the ring, but when I looked at it squarely, it disappeared.
The ring, eh? It figures. Well, that's it. The rest of the stuff should be okay.
What was it?
What? Oh, what you saw. That was an aura. Most people have them. Some places do, but it's a sure test to check if an item is truly magical. I'd be willing to bet that the ring is what old Garkin used to fry the assassin.
Aren't we going to take it with us?
Do you know how to control it?
Well, no.
Neither do I. The last thing we need is to carry around a ring that shoots fire. Particularly if we don't know how to activate it. Leave it. Maybe the others will find it and turn it on themselves.
What others?
Oh, the other assassins.
What other assassins?
That's right. This is the first time you've tangled with them, isn't it? I would have thought Garkin.
Aahz, could you just tell me?
Oh. Sure, kid. Assassins never work alone. That's why they never miss. They work in groups of 2 to 8. There's probably a backup team around somewhere. Realizing Istvan's respect for Garkin, I'd guess he wouldn't send less than 6 out on an assignment like this, maybe even 2 teams.
You mean all this time you've been fooling around with clothes and swords there's been more assassins on the way?
Relax, kid. That's the backup team. They'll be waiting a ways off and won't move until tomorrow at the earliest. It's professional courtesy. They want to give this bozo room to maneuver. Besides, it's tradition that the assassin who actually does the deed gets first pick of any random booty lying around before the others show up to take even shares. Everyone does it, but it's considered polite to not notice some of the loot has been pocketed before the official split.
How do you know so much about assassins, Aahz?
Went with one for a while, lovely lass, but she couldn't keep her mouth shut, even in bed. Sometimes I wonder if any profession really guards its secrets as closely as they claim.
What happened?
With what?
With your assassin?
Got work to do.
What are we going to do?
Well, first we bury the imp. Maybe it will throw the others off our trail. With any luck, they'll think he grabbed all the loot and disappeared. It wouldn't be the first time.
No, I mean after that. We're getting ready to travel, but where are we going?
Kid, sometimes you worry me. That isn't even magic. It's common sense military action. First, we find Istvan. Second, we appraise his strength. Third, we make our plans, and fourth, we execute them, and hopefully him.
Aahz, could we back up to one for a minute? Where are we going to find Istvan?
Don't you know where he is?
I never even heard his name before today.